Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 8th, 2016. While there is no confirmation from Israel or from the Palestinian Authority, the Russian Foreign Ministry said today that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and PA President Mahmoud Abbas had agreed in principle to meet in Moscow. The Interfax news agency reported that Israeli and Palestinian leaders have agreed in principle to meet. The TASS news agency cites Russian ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, saying that Moscow has heard from the offices of Abbas and Netanyahu that the two also agreed to meet in the Russian capital. She told reporters the most important thing is to pick the right timing. Zakharova said, quote, "Intensive contacts on this are ongoing." Israel's Army radio reports that Israeli security forces uncovered a large hoard of weapons, including bomb-making materials, as well as a stash of fake Israeli ID cards in a home in Hebron in the West Bank. IDF forces arrested one individual suspected of being linked to the stockpile. Two others were taken for questioning. And 5 Israeli Arabs from northern Israel were sentenced today to 5 years in prison for trying to join ISIS. The 5 were convicted in a Haifa district court of membership in an illegal organization, expressing solidarity with ISIS and seeking to harm the state of Israel. The Palestinian High Judicial Council issued an order to temporarily cancel municipal elections. Elections were set to take place on October the 8th and determine control in the West Bank and Gaza between the Fatah party, who currently rule in the West Bank, and terror group Hamas, who control Gaza. The local elections were reportedly postponed over disputes between the rival parties regarding candidate lists and election procedures. They will now take place sometime in late December, with the court meeting again on the issue on September the 21st. Israeli TV station Channel 1 reported that documents smuggled to London from Moscow by a former KGB archivist claimed that PA President Abbas was an agent for the KGB. The documents from archivist and defector Vasily Mitrokhin list Abbas as being an agent in Damascus in 1983. The report cites 2 Israeli researchers from Hebrew University who obtained the documents. Abbas spokesman Nabil Abu Radane and other Palestinian officials have dismissed the report, saying that Israel was using it as a tactic to impede the proposed talks between Abbas and Netanyahu in Moscow. Israel's Minister of Defense Avigdor Lieberman met yesterday with U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter. A statement from the Pentagon said that the secretary and minister discussed regional security challenges in the Middle East, including the ISIL threat, Iran, ways to expand and accelerate cyber coordination, as well as other areas of mutual defense cooperation. The meeting took place in London on the sidelines of a conference on peacekeeping. The Pentagon also said that in that meeting, the secretary reaffirmed the U.S. commitment to Israel's qualitative military edge and to strong U.S.-Israel defense relations, adding that Carter told the minister he looks forward to visiting Israel later this year. The United Nations held a gathering on anti-Semitism yesterday. The High-Level Forum on Global Anti-Semitism was sponsored by Israel, the U.S., Canada, and the European Union. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon addressed the opening of the forum. He said anti-Semitism is one of the world's oldest and most pernicious and deadly forms of hatred. Israel's UN Ambassador Dani Danon spoke as well, warning of the rise of the phenomenon and its dangers, especially on social media. Danon said, "Today we see and hear things about Jews and the Jewish people that we all thought belonged to the pages of history." And U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, addressed the forum as well. She said anti-Semitism poses a threat not only to Jews, but to the principles of pluralism, diversity, and the fundamental freedoms that we hold most dear. The forum is a follow-up to a meeting last year of the General Assembly on the growing phenomenon. Well, the Paralympic Games opened yesterday in Brazil, and the Israeli delegation is ready to compete with 30 athletes, 15 men and 15 women, Jewish and Muslim, contending for medals in 11 fields, including tennis, table tennis, rowing, sailing, and swimming. Two-time quad tennis Paralympic medalist Shraga Weinberg carried the Israeli flag, leading the team of physically and visually disabled athletes into the 2016 Games in Rio. The Games will run through September the 18th. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, September the 8th. At 7 o'clock, the importance and subtleties of Torah study according to Jewish tradition is examined. At 7:30, a discussion of leadership with Tony Blair, Rahm Emanuel, and Shimon Peres. At 8, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist of the Washington Post, Bret Stephens, addresses the AJC's Women's Leadership Board Spring Luncheon honoring women of courage. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Elizabeth Bettina, author of It Happened in Italy, the untold stories of how the people of Italy defied the horror of the Holocaust. That's on tonight's L'chaim. And at 10, a discussion of the causes of contemporary anti-Semitism with Professor Deborah Lipstadt, Jonathan Tobin, Mark Weitzman, Daniel Guadalupe, and Rabbi Joe Potasnik from Kean University. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Avi Issacharoff, the Middle East analyst and journalist for the Times of Israel, explains why he expects Fatah to win the Palestinian municipal elections and why there will be little practical results from those elections, with Mark Golub on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 8th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.